Hello and welcome to EBTV's coverage of East Brunswick High School athletics. Today we're here at the high school to see the Bears take on the Eagles in a GMC Red Division wrestling match. My name is Charlie King, and the gentleman standing to my right is a famous East Brunswick alumni, former head coach at East Brunswick, college wrestler, and now is one of the leading officials for wrestling in the state, Mr. Stu Kohn.
Well, thank you for the intro.
Very good. The Bears have had an interesting season, kind of up and down, 3-8. We were here to see them against Old Bridge, a meet which they lost the team score, but there were a lot of good individuals who put up a great fight for the Bears. How about that East Brunswick team, Stu? What can you tell us about it?
Well, I think last time you saw them, Charlie, against Old Bridge, they're a bit outmatched. Tonight against Edison, we should see them a little bit more on their own level, a little more, it could be more competitive, and we should see a good dual meet tonight.
Good. And Edison comes in at, I think it's 4-4, and as you said, maybe a better matchup against the Bears.
Well, East Brunswick's 3-8, but that's a little misleading. I think they've wrestled a tougher schedule thus far than Edison. And if you look at some common opponents, we have J.P. Stevens, where Edison lost by 1 point, and I think East Brunswick lost by 2 or 3. So on paper, it should be an even contest, but if we went just by paper, we wouldn't have to wrestle. So that's why we're here tonight and see how it all pans out.
One of the new things in wrestling, and I guess it's just this year because I don't remember it, that doesn't mean it couldn't have been a couple of years, is the weight class, or the weight class that you're going to start wrestling at. We used to start with the little guys, 101s, on up to heavyweights. They've added a couple of weight classes, but they've also altered where you start. And I think tonight it's 152.
Well, there's some good and bad in that statement. I think the good is the random draw. The weight class where they start at is picked in weigh-ins. It's picked out of a hat, right at the scale, and it takes the pressure off the big guys always having to be carrying the load at the end of the meet. The bad of your statement was they've added a couple weight classes. I think that's weakened the talent pool a little bit, and I think hopefully we'll get smart in a couple years and we'll go back to 12 weight classes from the 14.
Well, how about the heavyweight? We're up to 275.
A maximum 275.
The max is 275.
He actually has an allowance as the season moves on, so I believe February 1st that will go to add 2 pounds to that.
Uh-huh. So, and that before it used to be anyone over 189. Is that right?
I think it was 185. Anybody over 185, there was no limit. You can have a 400-pounder out there against a guy 185. And I don't want to date myself, but I'm sure you and I both remember the famous Bill Jeevis, Russ Olson go-arounds back in the late 70s.
Right, the mountain from South River.
Yeah, but, happy to know I see Russ around town every once in a while, and he's well reduced.
Well, he was a big guy, but he was quite a wrestler as well. And you mentioned Jeevis. I remember it came down to how Jeevis made out in that heavyweight bout as to whether or not the Bears were going to be successful that evening.
A very memorable night. We don't get them like that anymore, but I was a junior, and I remember we all were escorted one at a time from the South River Gym onto the bus with a police escort. That's how rowdy that rivalry used to be, and it'd be nice to see get back that way. Not so much needing the police escorts, but seeing that rivalry again of East Brunswick and South River. And that match is coming up later in the season, I believe Valentine's Day, and encourage all the Bear fans to get out there and support the Bears. I think it's at South River this year.
South River, right.
But it could be a classic match this year, and I'd like to see people come out and support the Bears and see what we could do this year. South River has a nice team this year. They're ranked #1 in their group in Central Jersey, and the way it matches up, the Bears just might be able to take them this year.
That would be exciting, and that's just kind of I think you laid down the challenge to those Bear fans that are watching us on this broadcast to come out and support East Brunswick. February 14th, there'll be a lot of love in that gym, which there always is when we compete against South River, and support the Bears in that contest.
The Battle of Old Bridge Turnpike.
Battle of Old Bridge Turnpike. Okay, we will be right back for the start of this evening's match. For now, we're going to take a little break. back at East Brunswick High School for the wrestling match, the Bears versus the Eagles from Edison. I'm joined by Stu Kohn. We're about ready to get underway here. We're going to have the opening ceremonies here at senior night. Coach Emery is introducing our senior wrestlers and their parents.
Seniors are Albert Ack, escorted by Coach Ceteri.
Okay, the first senior is Albert Ack, and he is escorted by Coach Ceteri.
Sean Sullivan and Coach Scanlon.
Sean Sullivan and Coach Scanlon is coming in with Sean.
Stan Schur, his parents Alex and Irina.
Stan Schur, his parents Alex and Irina.
Joe Leonard and father Joseph.
Joe Leonard and his father Joseph.
That's Coach Kazuko. Here is Stan. Jay Zalitsky and parents Bobby.
Jay
and
Zalitsky
Dan.
and his parents Bobby and Dan.
And Kevin Hendricks.
Kevin Hendricks.
Kathleen and Mike.
His parents Kathleen and Michael Hendrick. I think Kevin is one of the captains on this team, Stu.
One more time, everybody knows what a grueling sport wrestling is and the dedication that has to be put forth on everybody's part, athlete and family. Congratulations and good luck to our wrestlers and their parents.
You know, the time and the effort that they put into wrestling, it's a major commitment to get into that room and get in shape prior to the season, and we'll get right back to Stu's comments in just a second.
Please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're back in action. I was just commenting about the amount of time and effort that goes into being a wrestler and getting out there and competing.
Well, it's certainly a demanding sport, and especially for a senior, you know, it's a little bittersweet. You look forward to being a senior, but then the downside is reality sets in, and that's it.
Yeah, that's probably the last time they'll step on the mat, and as you said, probably a bittersweet experience. We're very happy with the effort that they've put forth here at East Brunswick for their careers, and we certainly wish them the best in the future. And maybe we'll see them back here doing a broadcast sometime. As we indicated before, Mr. Kohn graduated from East Brunswick back around the turn of the century and went on to bigger and better things. We're having the introductions. That was John Park at 112 and Corey Richings, 103 for the Bears.
Tyler Sully. And for East Brunswick, it's Jamie Guido.
At 119, we have Tyler Soley, who is one of Edison's best wrestlers, and Jamie Guido for the Bears. And I guess Edison's going to forfeit at 125, Carmen Corona.
And for East Brunswick, it's Tim Ackerman.
130 will be Kevin Christie for the Eagles and Tim Ackerman for the Bears.
For Edison, Mike Weiss for Radio Anaya.
135, Mike Weiss and Brian Ackerman for the Bears. I see two wrestlers coming out and being introduced. The coach has the option.
Coach has the option. He can either move one wrestler up.
Okay, at 140, we have Mike Grogan and Patty Bean for the Bears.
Sometimes just a little head game.
Yeah, a little head game. Okay. 145, Joel Harrison for Edison, and was that Nick Maroney?
Nick Marone.
Nick Marone for the Bears. 152, Jack Rainier for Edison, and Matt Merrigan for the Bears.
And for East Brunswick, either Nate, Paul, or Jay Solitsky.
So we're introducing two wrestlers at 160. Coach has the option to see how it's going to make that determination.
Well, the coin toss before the match is going to determine what team has to send the wrestler on the mat first. So this way they'll have all their options depending on who has to send the wrestler to the mat.
I think that's 189, Angel Figueroa and John Clay for the Bears.
And for East Brunswick Beater, Kevin Hendricks or Brian Campbell.
East Brunswick's two wrestlers in this situation as well.
75 for Edison, it's Jeremy Miller. And for East Brunswick again, either Kevin Hendricks or Brian Campbell.
That's Kevin Hendricks or Brian Campbell, and for the Bears, either at 215 or the heavyweight, and the limit is 275.
The limit's 275 and the minimum is 185.
Minimum is 185 in that weight class. All right, the captains are being brought to the middle of the mat, and this is where they determined who is going to have the first choice.
The home team is green and the visiting team would be red.
Okay. Red team.
And Edison East Brunswick make it easy for the official tonight with their singlets.
Right.
Ideal situation for the official.
And that's Doug Hess, the
Doug
official.
Hess.
Assigned by the Greater Middlesex Conference. Is that how the officials are?
That is correct.
And I believe you doing the signing these days.
It helps me know who's officiating where at all times.
Yeah, for years, Norm Winter comes to mind. Norm did the
Cliff
signing.
Loyson
And Cliff Loyson.
Bill Lana did it for a few years.
Uh-huh. Well.
And now I know the headache I got myself into.
Yeah, that's exciting. As I said, we're going to start at 152, and Coach Pazinko will go to coach just a second.
Not for what they're doing here. So, but whoever they send out there, you're going to beat them, okay? But what you got to do is be aggressive and think about positioning the whole time. Okay, it's Ryan. Let's go. Go get him.
Charlie, both coaches I was talking to before the match, and they both indicated this could be a key bout.
Right, and we have Matt Merrigan for the Bears and Jack Reiner for Edison.
We're going to see a pretty even dual meet tonight. We're not going to see one team blow out the other, and each one of these individual bouts is going to have a role in the final team score.
Right, and you heard Coach Pazinko's comment to Merrigan, I don't care who it is, go out and beat him. And of course,
well, Edison's in on the takedown. It's Merrigan's going to his back. He's in a cradle position. What Matt needs to do here is kick and break the grip.
Against Oldbridge, he got himself in the same kind of predicament and was able to roll through. He didn't win the match, but he's in trouble now.
Well, he's a sophomore and he's gained experience. It's going to pay dividends down the road for him.
Right.
Right now, he needs to belly down.
Well, he got himself out of there. 3 back points.
Well, he's got himself in a 5-0 hole here with 1:13 left in the first period.
Right. And it's going to be critical this evening that we stay off of our backs. And those 3-point wins are actually up to 8 points, right? Is a 3-point team for the team.
Right. Well, you said it right. The bonus points are going to be, key for this dual meet. Where East Brunswick's going to have to stay off their backs and avoid giving up key bonus points. And that's going to be the difference in this dual meet. As Marion gets an escape, so we're at 5-1.
5-1, right. At 50 seconds remaining. And now they're tied up. And watching Merrigan against Oldbridge, as we televised that one, he doesn't stay up there long. Unfortunately, he gave up 2. Whoop.
So that brings us to 7-1 with 38 seconds remaining in the first period.
He's very active, but he seems to get his weight. Seems to get his weight a little out of balance and gets himself in trouble. He's trying to hook that leg in there, but he didn't get it. So he needs to get up and out of there with 28 seconds remaining.
So it's Reiner on top for Edison, on top in position and on top in the score.
All right, now he has to work to turn him, right?
He's got to work to turn him. He's got to stay on the sides or he can get called for stalling.
Okay, that's Merrigan's got his leg in there. How does Merrigan take advantage of that?
Well, Merrigan needs to get back to his base, establish some hand control.
Okay, he's up, neutral. That's one. That makes on the whistle.
Oh,
You give him the 2.
just missed it.
So at the end of the first period, it's Reiner from Edison with 7 and Matt Merrigan 2.
Yeah, Reiner was saved by the buzzer there.
Reiner was saved by the buzzer. We have Merrigan's choice. It's East Brunswick's choice, and he takes the down position.
Well, we're at 7-2 going into the second period. This could be one of those high-scoring bouts.
Right. And so we have a 5-point differential. And if it were to end at this score, it would be 3 points for East Brunswick. If it went to 8, it would be 4. We want to take full advantage. Merrigan's gotten a takedown.
Merrigan went to his feet, he exploded up, he shot back in and got 2. He's right back in this bout at 7-5. Merrigan's looking for a ball and chain now.
Pull that hand through
the crotch and
right.
Try to tilt the shoulders.
Now, how does the official judge when to blow the whistle and when to bring him back?
Okay, when both wrestlers have one of the 2 supporting parts, a leg or something bearing weight out of bounds, we'll get a fresh start and go back to the middle.
Okay, so it's Merrigan in control. And again, Merrigan needs to keep him down there and work to turn him and expose his back to the mat.
You know, and after getting off to a slow start, he's right back in this bout.
That's 7-5.
Okay, now Merrigan needs to bring him back down to the mat. It's his obligation, so to speak, to bring him to the mat as Reiner escapes.
And
just,
that was a
just
1
as we
point.
go out of bounds.
Right, a 1 point for Reiner. So it's Reiner 8-5 with 57 seconds remaining in the second period.
So second period here, Merrigan's certainly the aggressor. Merrigan's come a long way since I saw him last year. Much better mat sense as he gets fireman's carried to his back. Merrigan needs now to kick and try to break the grip.
He's back in that same cradle he was in the first period.
He's got 30 seconds here to try to fight getting caught and get out. He needs to roll through.
And it looks like he's through. That's 3 back points, makes it 13-5 in favor of Reiner of Edison over Merrigan. With 13 seconds remaining, he's still got enough time to get out of there if he can make a move.
Well, he's got time to pick up 1 here if he can pop up and get to his feet.
Doesn't look like that's going to happen at this point. There's the horn ending the second period with Reiner leading Merrigan 13-5. What would your advice be to Merrigan if you were coaching East Brunswick?
He's got to look for the fall here. He's got a lot of ground to make up, you know, as far as maneuvers with escapes and takedowns. He's got to go for the fall. He's got to stay aggressive and try to get Reiner on his back. That's about the only way he's going to salvage this bout. Also, as far as team score, he's got to bring that 8-point gap.
We're at 8, right? And that would
so
be,
he doesn't give up any bonus points.
And that would be 4 points for Edison if we remained the same way.
So this is a key takedown here.
Once again, he seems to get his weight
not
so
getting his
high.
hips out.
Yeah, his hips. And it was the same thing the other night, too, for Edison.
So we hear Coach Bazinko yelling to take hand control.
Right.
Now, if they go to the feet, the referee could stop that for potentially dangerous. But it looks like
he rolled right through, but ran out of.
Edison's going to stay in control. He ran out of landscaping there.
Yeah, that white circle kind of caught up with him. I can remember wrestlers trying to get out there to catch a breath, but Merrigan's gets out there, and that's where he seems to make his move. He needs to make it more in the middle of the mat, if that's possible. Doesn't always work that way.
Well, he's down by 10 with a minute to go. And he's exposing his back for points now.
Now, how long does he have to hold him there to get the points?
Well, if he holds him there for 3 seconds, he'll get 2 back points. 5 seconds, he'll get 3 near fall points.
Okay, so 5 seconds would be the key. That's 3.
And if the shoulders obviously touch the mat for 2 seconds, it'd be a fall.
Right, it'd be a pin. So we're at 18-5 with 30 seconds remaining.
Certainly a lot of points flying out in this bout.
And that's 2 for Merrigan on the reversal, so he will start on top, and he's got 24 seconds to put Reiner on his back here if he's going to win this thing.
Well, this bout's starting to look more like a team score than a bout score. We're at 18-7 with 24 seconds to go in the third.
That's a lot of points, as you said. We've seen 2-1, 3-2 matches, so a lot of points scored in this one. We're down to 15 seconds. Merrigan's got to try to turn him over somehow.
Well, he's going to run out of time.
Yeah,
here.
he's going to run out of time with 7. No, he's going to pick him up. That's not going to get it. Oh, nope. No points there.
So it's Edison on the scoreboard first, picking up a major decision here at 152.
152.
So we're going to head into 160 with a 4-0 team advantage for Edison. Edison coming into tonight's match with a 4-4 record.
You got it. I mean,
Right.
Twice.
I know, but that's
Well, how do I pick out of that?
no. You keep your elbows in. You keep your,
You said on me. My
no,
elbow
you
was
keep,
in on
I'm
his, I
saying you
couldn't
keep.
turn it.
I'm saying you keep your elbows in. We'll get it. We'll get it.
So
Hey,
we're at
we need it back
160.
right
East
now.
Brunswick has to send a man to the mat first, and we're going to see what Edison does, judging by who the Bears send. And it looks like for the Bears, it's Nate Mull.
Nate Mull is.
And let's see Edison how they're going to counter. Looks like they're going to forfeit.
Now they've talked about not sending anybody out there. Bob Wolf was originally slated there, but so Nate Mull is going to get
6 points for the Bears.
6 for the Bears. So after 160, why would you do that if you're a coach?
Well,
Why did Edison do that?
he
Not
might
send
just,
a
you know,
wrestler?
his wrestler just might not be experienced enough for the varsity level. Rather than ruin his self-confidence. Sometimes it pays just to keep him in the practice room another year. And
Okay, but anything can happen out there. I mean, I've seen some pretty quick pins.
well, anything can happen
Yeah, you're right.
both ways.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just
A lot of wrestling is a mental game.
yeah, it's just not something that I would like to see personally.
Well, I know I don't like to see it either, but unfortunately, you know, 14 weight classes, it can come back real easily.
We're at 171. That's Dimitri
Cousinettes.
for the Bears, and Ed Kidney for Edison.
And I'm apologizing in advance for any names that we're not pronouncing right.
Okay, we have the right wrestler. Because they're juggling lineups, they've weighed 2 people in sometimes, and we're trying to make sure we have the right names, and hopefully we pronounce them correctly, as Stu has indicated. We got no points here.
So it's Kinney in on a leg. He's trying to convert a single into a takedown.
And how do you do that? How do you take that single to takedown?
Well, he's got to suck it in and cut the corner. If they
Okay.
stay in this position, the referee could call stalemate, as we see here, where there's no advancement, and they'll start fresh in the center.
Do you have a direct line to the official? As soon as you said that, he blew the whistle for a stalemate. Both wrestlers obviously in the up position, trying to get some initial control.
Well, Doug is one of the better officials in the area, so
Right.
we can expect to see some good officiation.
We got Dimitri Kuznets taking
The beautiful head and arm.
head kidney to the mat. And of course, he's got the takedown, and he's exposing that back, so he's certainly got 2 or 3 more points.
Well, he's got at least 3 in the bank, but he's certainly got good 45 seconds here to work with in the fall. What Kinney needs to do here is tighten up the hold and sit towards the head. His feet are actually towards the feet.
Kuznets, Dimitri.
Yeah, Kuznek, Dimitri needs to move towards the head.
Okay.
Now he's losing it, so he needs to, you know, just cross face, sprawl, and spin around. If he can work the half in again in a bar right here.
Right, he's reestablishing that he's got to turn his back. He's not going to get him through, it doesn't look like.
Well, the referee won't award the points till the situation is ended.
I see he's got 3 fingers, so he's got at least 3 more.
He's got 3 in the bank.
Okay.
And at this point that really could be awarded.
That's the end of the period. Was that 3 and 3 or just
2 and 3? 2 for the takedown.
2 for the
near
takedown and
fall.
3 for the near fall.
So
Okay.
Dimitri's off to a 5-0 start. He's a junior looking for his first win on the season.
As a varsity wrestler, and he takes the down position.
That was a beautiful head and arm takedown that we saw in the first period. Let's see what Dimitri could do here in the second. What he needs to do here is make himself long to get out of the cradle. He needs to extend his weight.
Ed Kidney, actually a nice move, but he
had a cradle, and Dimitri broke the cradle and took Kinney to his back. Kinney only a freshman for Edison.
It's a big boy for a freshman.
Dimitri doing a nice job here.
Yeah, he is.
He's just to balance his weight out.
He awarded him, I guess, 2 for the takedown. Is that
2 for the reversal?
Reversal.
And then it looks like he's got 2 back points in the bank. It looks like he converted to a fall here.
And that's, I hear Coach Allen lift his head up, and that's...
Yeah, that's my first time seeing Dimitri Kuznets wrestle, and he's certainly off to a good start here.
He is.
Now, I don't know if the Edison wrestler got any points for the cradle. I don't see any on the board. So
I thought he should have had
two,
at least
two
2,
back,
but he didn't indicate that. The referee didn't.
With Dimitri working for the fall here, it might be a moot
He's got him
point.
in trouble right now. It's a moot point. We're going to go to coach here. That was Dimitri Kuznet on a pin for the Bears, and we'll go right to coach.
Coach Bazinko offering a word of encouragement and praise for the second period fall for Dimitri Kuznets. Now we're going to get a look for the Bears at one of the strong points in the lineup, John Clay, a junior, at 11 and 5 for the Bears. He'll be taking on Angel Figueroa, a senior from Edison.
Okay, Coach Bazinko, a man of few words. We're back in action here. John Clay comes to the scorer's table. They didn't have to do that. I don't remember them doing that in the past, coming to the table.
What they have to do now is check the names so they don't get the wrong 2 kids on the mat.
Right,
That
okay.
started a couple years ago.
Which is a good idea, I think.
Now that's a takedown. Once the weight is born on the hands, it's a takedown, even without the knees being on the mat. That's also a new rule, about 2 years old now.
Right, that's an escape. So it's 2-1. We're just into the 189-pound match. And off the mat, and we'll come back to center, reset, and both wrestlers in the up position.
Clay's pretty put together out there. If we get a look at John, you could see.
John's a big boy.
Yeah, well put together. One of the strong points in the Bears lineup.
I always thought that this was one of the toughest weight classes, this 189.
Well, you get some big football players, and you get some beefy kids.
Big, strong guy. John needs to see if he can pop his head out of there, and that's the way
he needs to pop up and lift up on the cross leg. You know, John's record 11-5 is really not indicative of how good he is because of the tough competition the Bears go up against.
Right.
You know, if most of his matches were in Middlesex County and Central Jersey, you wouldn't see the 5 losses.
Right.
Okay, so what Clay needs to do now is lift up on the Navy rod and get his hips out.
And that's where
maybe
he's
work
going.
up to the head at the same time, and he does just that, and he's in there on the half looking for the fall. What he needs to do now is tee off, put the weight up on his toes and get off the knees, arch his back and lift the head. Easier said than done.
Yeah. But it seems like he's got him in there. He's got 27 seconds to work, and that's a long time to stay off your back. And we're at 4-1, and once again, hopefully that the points on the board won't make any difference because John will turn him over there and keep him there. But
well, he's certainly wearing them down. He's picking up back points. He's off to a 7-1 lead here.
Right.
And we're still in the first.
Figueroa fought through that, and it just, I don't know, it just seems to me that it takes an awful lot of courage out there to stay off your back because the Edison wrestler, Figueroa, was obviously in trouble, but...
well, until you're out there and on your back for 2 minutes, you don't realize how long 2 minutes really is.
That's my point. And I made that point before. In basketball or whatever the sport may be, you have a teammate to say, well, I'll throw you the ball. But out here, there's nobody to throw the ball to. So we start off with Clay in control.
Definitely nowhere to hide out there.
Nowhere to hide. Those white lines aren't big enough.
Well, Clay's on top in scoring, on top in position. What Clay's trying to do now is work a leg and a power half. He just switches off to a crossface.
And the crossface, and he slipped it in. We're
back up to the feet.
Back up. That's one for Edison because
Clay goes out of bounds with a wizard in. We're going to get a fresh start in the middle.
Now, what happened to Clay? It looked like he had that move again around the neck and head there, but he just
lost it, slipped and lost the hold.
Is that a matter of him getting a little off balance, or
a little off balance, and, not in the right position?
And just Figueroa not letting him get in that position, obviously. Out of bounds. We're going back to the middle of the mat with 1:10 remaining in the second period. Of course, each period is 2 minutes long. And I made this comment once before. To me, one of the negative things with wrestling was all the stalling and the timeouts for injuries and all the rest of that stuff, which seemed to be prevalent there for a while. But, boy, that's really been cleaned up, Stu.
Well, a lot of the new rules have moved in that direction to speed up the pace of the match, to keep the match moving.
And it certainly has worked.
What the Bears really need to do here with Clay on the mat and Hendricks coming up is establish a nice little lead. The strength in the Edison lineup's going to be in the lower middle weights. So the pin we had by Dimitri certainly got the Bears rolling. Now we need from Clay is to keep the momentum going. I don't think the Bears are looking for a 3-point or 4-point decision out of Clay. Clay's mission here is definitely going to be for the fall.
To get 6. Bears up 12-4 at this point with 27 seconds remaining in the second period. And the action is slowed a little bit. Sometimes those 189-pounders begin to run out of steam a little bit. I'm not sure that I'd like to go out there with John Clay myself. I don't know if I could make. I don't know if I can make the 14 seconds here that we have remaining in the second period. Well, up. Figueroa trying for the takedown. No. Still in the neutral position with 6 seconds remaining. Now, did this take a lot out of you? Just
absolutely
back and forth here. They're going to hold each other's hands here for the last 6 seconds. We had a few guys over the years, Stu, that could take you down almost anywhere. I mentioned Coach Toto picking those ankles.
Sure. Mike Wessler.
Mike Wessler was outstanding wrestler here at East Brunswick. Nick Malonis, oh my goodness, he was one of the, I don't think was state champ.
I think it was third in the state. Nick got a late start in wrestling. Didn't first wrestle to the 10th grade.
Yeah. I go back and remember Jimmy Young in the class of '71, outstanding wrestler.
Today was the wrestling clubs and the tournaments. There's kids out there wrestling at 5 and 6 years old now. Bantam and midget and junior and.
Right, and our
the key there is not to start them too young so they burn out and lose interest by the time they get to the high school. Sometimes a little too much emphasis is placed on the midget wrestling. And Clay in a good pancake position there. But he needs to stay behind. He was cross-face and turn.
Wasn't able to take advantage of it. Oh, we're neutral. 1 red, 1 green.
All right, Clay needs to get aggressive here. He's got a minute left to work with.
We're in the third period with 1:07 remaining. The score is 8-2. John Clay over Angel Figueroa.
Well, Figueroa's doing his job for Edison. His best defense here is to stay offensive, and that's what he's been doing.
Clay's got his arm in there. He's got to keep that arm or it'll be a takedown for Figueroa.
Well, Clay needs to square off with him.
Got to keep going. In other words, Clay's got to turn to his right.
Now,
is that right?
If Clay can get the takedown here, that would give him, an 8-point advantage.
And that would be 14 points.
If he can, hold on to that. But with 36 seconds to go, they're not advancing. He could look for a stalemate here.
There's that direct line to Doug Hess on the stalemate, and I like that. Not too long. Is there a period of time, or is it just a judgment call on the part of the official?
It's a judgment call. Once he sees there's not going to be any advancement, some officials will be faster than others with that.
Right. I guess as long as they're consistent throughout each match.
I think that's the common battle cry from the coaches with officials. They don't really care how they call something as long as they stay consistent with it throughout the dual meet. If
So the kids know what to expect. There's two there, Stu, on a takedown by John Clay.
Clay cuts the corner, and he's got a half looking for more. What Clay's got to watch out for there is the full Nelson. Both those hands are looking a little too close to the ears.
That's the end of the match, and that'll be an 8-point win. The final was 10-2, John Clay, and Clay picks up 4.
And
that'll bring the Bears total to 16.
And he picks up a key bonus point with the extra takedown there in the third period.
Right. Coach Bazinko, we're going to go over and just hear what he has to say. Looks like he's going to go with, he's telling who's going to wrestle.
I want you being aggressive, okay? Don't take
This
him
is
at
Kevin Hendricks for the Bears.
Kevin Hendricks at 215. Javon Robinson for the Eagles. And
Hendricks built much the same way as Clay.
They look about the same size.
Yeah, another well-built athlete.
And I guess Coach Bazinko
keeping these guys in the weight room.
Keeping them in the weight room, and I know Hendrick is a very good wrestler for the Bears, and probably
he's
wants
10-5, and right now with the GMC tournament just around the corner, he's looking at maybe a second seed.
That's 2 points for Hendrick. And he's one of the captains of this Bears team. Very tough, very aggressive wrestler.
So it's Hendricks on the board first with a takedown.
Right, and he's working to try to turn him over. It looks like he's about ready to do that.
He's got him in a near side cradle.
He's got a cradle.
He needs to get his knee in the side there, bring the shoulders down.
Now his knee's underneath him, which...
right, he can't pin him like that. He's going to have to get that knee out.
Okay.
He's going to have to get his own hips out as well.
It's all a matter of leverage.
Yeah, it's got to use every means of his body has to work with. Clay needs to use that leg that's posting on the mat, maybe put some pressure on
now that far shoulder for
Robinson's
us
knee
is obviously the one that's not down, because the one that we can see is flatter than a
now
pancake.
Hendricks is tightening it up, but he just lost it.
Yeah, that's 3. So that brings the score with 48 seconds remaining. Hendricks 5, Robinson of Edison nothing.
Hendricks still working that cradle.
Looked like he had him pretty solid there. I don't.
Yeah, Robinson managed to kick and cut it out.
We used to have some guys here. Pazinko was one of those guys. He gets you in that cradle or what? I believe that was his move, and not too many guys got out of that. It was like the death grip or something.
No, Glenn was a leg rider, power half, and
power half. That's right.
When I think of cradles for East Brunswick, I think of Dave Mead and Ralph Mead.
Oh, Dave Mead, right? Yeah.
They could throw from anywhere. They could throw from the bus on the way there.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, Hendricks back in on the cradle.
So in order for Hendricks to score, he's got to turn him. That's the only points that are going to be available there.
With 8 seconds left, he's going to probably just try to stay behind and ride him out.
That's the end of the first period. That's Hendricks 5, Robinson 0. Or Edison. Red's got the choice. That's Edison's choice. They elect to take the controlling position. So what Hendricks' job here is first to get out of there. We used to I used to walk in the room when you were the head coach there, and we would be practicing that move. It seemed like forever, with a quick whistle, trying to get him to make that first move.
Well, the key is to establish the first move right on the whistle. Hendricks just ran out of space there.
But he got the reversal in 2 points, so he's up 7-0 with just into the second period. You get a little, ooh, that hurts, doesn't it? When that Robinson brought his, he brought his arm back and kind of got him in the, right in the face there.
Got him in a split eagle.
Split eagle.
Of the eagle. And
I don't think eagles like those.
Not a very comfortable position to be in.
Yeah, there's a big pin by by Kevin Hendrick of the Bears, one of the co-captains. The Bears go up
Great work.
22 to
Nice
4.
job. Hey, but you know what? You were aggressive out there. That's the difference. You're aggressive, those things are going to work.
Coach Pazinko's comment, Kevin, you were aggressive, and that's why those things work.
Well, we're going to see one of the better Edison wrestlers now, Jeremy Miller. He's a junior. He's a district place winner last year.
And we got Brian Campbell on for the Bears at the heavyweight classification. So the Bears up 22 to 4. And moving in the right direction. We got to see Brian Campbell. He's got a takedown.
Campbell surprising Miller on the board first with the takedown.
Campbell is a junior and really has struggled a little bit at the heavyweight class.
Well, it's a tough weight class to wrestle. You know, I'm sure he's hit some big kids.
Oh, yeah, he certainly has.
Mix that in with some experience, and it'll pay dividends for him down the road.
Right.
He doesn't look like a real big heavyweight. It looks like Miller has him outweighed by quite a few pounds.
That was a nice move by Campbell. He took that leg and was able to shift his weight and kind of block him down to the down to the mat.
Well, it was called a Turk. He was trying to lift the near leg and step in. Let's see what he does here.
Okay.
Goes right for the ankle.
Grabs
Cuts
the ankle.
off Miller's first move, which is the correct thing to do. He's staying heavy on top, using his weight to his advantage.
As long as he has that ankle in an initial move, it's impossible for him to stand up.
Well, he cut off the first move. Makes it a little
Right.
more difficult for Miller.
Okay.
What,
You know
what Campbell's doing a nice job of is staying hip to hip. He's using his weight to his advantage. Even though he's got less of it than Miller, he's using it wisely. He's staying heavy on top of Miller.
So he doesn't want to get that weight too far forward.
Well, he wants to stay heavy over the hips.
Okay.
You know, wrestling is a hip game.
You got to
Hip and leverage.
control the hips with your leverage. Okay. Miller gets up, but Campbell's able to bring him back down to the mat, trying to turn him over.
Campbell's doing a nice job of
certainly
staying
is.
behind, and it's got Miller in trouble with a reverse half. What Campbell needs to do here is lift up on the head. This is certainly a match Edison had,
Planned on
I'm
winning.
sure, looked at as a victory on paper, and Campbell doing what he could do to prove them wrong. 15 seconds to work with here. Campbell needs to lift that head.
Right.
And get heavy. He needs to tee off a little bit.
I'm watching his mother and father over here to my left.
Sometimes that's better than a match, Charlie.
I know. Wasn't able to three.
So Campbell off to a nice 5-0 first period lead.
And he'll have the choice. Oh, he defers. So wrestler can defer the choice to Edison so that, okay. So we're in the second period. That's Brian Campbell on top, 5-0, but he's on the bottom to start this period. He turns and faces, and
Quick
he's back
escape.
up and escape. That's the way you used to coach it.
Well, something got into Campbell tonight. He's just a ball of fire as he's right in on a leg.
Yeah, that
Campbell
was-
doing a beautiful job. You know, first time I've seen him all year, and he's really using his moves. He's not trying to muscle his opponent. He's strategizing and setting up his shots and doing a nice job.
So that's being smart. Okay, we're
now they're fighting for hand control, and Campbell in on the leg again.
you know, again, and maybe it's I've been away from this wrestling for maybe a year or so. I haven't seen a match, but even at the heavyweight, these guys aren't laying around out there. They're working, and I think that's to me it's extremely impressive. And Brian Campbell has certainly done a great job so far.
Well, it's Campbell. It's been the aggressor here so far in this bout. Now, what Miller has to avoid is
There's a
a
stalling
stall
point, right?
for the backing.
If he keeps backing off the mat, the official can award a well. First is a warning.
Well, what Miller needs to do is circle. You can't back, but you can circle. So to avoid the stall call, Miller needs to circle, stay in the center of the mat.
Okay, and the official gives him a warning, and then the points begin.
I don't think we've had a stall call all night so far. So both teams have done a nice job about staying aggressive.
Yeah, no, we haven't had one the whole evening. Now we got 1 minute remaining in the second period.
Campbell up ahead 6-0.
6-0. Heavyweights more than the little guys have a tendency to tie up. Is that just because of their size?
Yeah, I think it's a pattern.
Uh-huh. Okay, we have
A little more pushing and shoving. Throwing that beef around.
trying to establish dominance. And of course, to this point, Brian Campbell has done an outstanding job. Looks like a hip throw. Is that? Can he?
He's trying to head and arm.
Right.
Just ran out of real estate there.
Both out of bounds is the call by the official. No points awarded, and they will go back to the middle of the mat in the neutral position. With 19 seconds remaining, what Campbell's got to do is obviously stay away from that move.
Well, Campbell needs to stay aggressive. You know, he can't let up. He's up 6-0. He can't rest on his laurels. He's got his best defense would be to stay offensive.
He's got
He gives up
two, right?
Takedown here. 1 second to go. You hate giving up points just on the buzzer.
As Stu has indicated, you hate to give up points anytime, but with 1 or 2 seconds remaining,
They seem to frustrate you a little more.
yeah. But I guess Brian was concerned with his balance being off so much with that arm behind him. He could have got rolled to his back and wound up giving up 6. So
Well, Campbell's got a 4-point lead here.
with 2 minutes remaining.
It could be the longest 2 minutes of the night for him, that's for
Yeah.
sure. But he did a nice job riding in the first period. Let's see what he can do here in the third.
No, still no control.
What he needs to do is get in on one of those legs.
He's got to get, okay, we got a
Miller,
reversal.
Miller with the reversal.
That's 2 more. It's 6-4. Campbell over Miller with 1:30 remaining.
Campbell needs to stay aggressive. He can't rest down there. The referee knows he's up by 2. I'm sure the referee's thinking stall. So Campbell needs to get back to his base, establish hand control, and get a little explosive.
Base being what?
Base would be considered the referee's position, getting your knees out under you, getting your hands to the mat, almost like a table.
Right. Okay. That's a warning, a stalling warning for green. Campbell needs to move.
Yeah, it was a justified call. Campbell can't sit back and ride that lead. He needs to stay aggressive.
Yeah, that was about. I think he wanted to let it go for 20, 25 seconds when Campbell made a couple of moves, but obviously not enough.
Well, Campbell wasn't doing a well enough job of camouflaging it.
Right.
Some wrestlers just seem to have a knack for knowing how to stall. It's a certain art.
Right. Campbell's going to get up and out of there. That should be one. No.
Well, he needs to get his legs out. He needs to stay heavy on him. If he can come around, cover the hips, he'll pick up a reversal, and he does.
So he picks up the 2. It's now 8-4. Brian Campbell.
30 seconds to go.
Looks like Miller's a little tired as well here. Now Miller's coming back up.
Well, Campbell's done a beautiful job of staying heavy on him throughout the bout.
Keep his weight back here, as Stu said, cover those hips.
Well, he's got him controlled at the top. He's got to avoid that. Watch the full Nelson. He needs to get something on his legs.
Okay, we got 6 seconds remaining.
Well, smartly, he gave up the 1.
He gave up the 1. It's 8-5. Brian Campbell.
It's a big win for Brian.
I think that's his first varsity win this season, and certainly a very important one for Brian himself and also for the team.
He certainly did against a quality opponent.
Yes, he did.
Miller's been around a couple years for Edison, so
nice job, though.
Campbell should be proud of himself. Big win, Brian Campbell.
Brian Campbell puts the Bears up 25-4. And now we'll go with the 103-pound weight class.
We're going to get a look at Corey Richens, off to a great start for the Bears. Only a freshman, and he's at 12-3.
Matt Gabriel for Edison.
So we see two freshmen.
Now you're going to see some quickness out here now. 2 freshmen, that's right. Although occasionally you'll see a freshman. We used to have a couple of freshmen at this weight class.
Louis Schuckman.
Schuckman, right? Absolutely. pretty good wrestler. In
Sure.
fact, he was an outstanding wrestler.
Wrestler, gymnast.
Saw him down there in the States
yeah.
wrestling. He won. Did he win the States that year? Finished second, maybe?
He's definitely was a state qualifier. I don't.
I remember seeing him down in Princeton. I used to thoroughly enjoy that, going to Princeton to watch the state finals.
Richings trying to work on a dump.
He needs to get his head right. Okay.
And Riching needs, now he can look for the half. Needs to arch his back here.
We got 2 points for Richings.
Two in the bank, 2 on the near fall.
Now the points aren't awarded until that move.
Well, once he lets go of that tilt position, he'll get the 2.
There's the 2.
Change the hand combination. So
Up
2's
4.
awarded.
4-zip. Going to try to turn him over again.
He's going back for more, and that's a sink to half now. That's what he needs to do here. Is
Well, he's got 2 more, at least.
Corey's got good leverage, nice balance, and as you and Bobby Cankro alluded to during the Old Bridge match, you know, only a freshman, but a seasoned veteran. Probably been on the mat, I would guess, since he's 6, 7 years old.
Right, one of those guys that
Coming from
wrestled
a
through the
wrestling family.
rec
He
program.
gets
And
a
he put
fall.
him down. That's a big fall for
135
Corey
in the
Richings.
first period.
Right, 31-4 in favor of East Brunswick over Edison. And we have
Way to suck it up.
112,
Nice
119, 25, 30.
Oh, Bears exploding for a
Bears.
31-4 lead going into 112.
All right, and we have John Park for the Bears.
And the coaches are real high on John Parks. Real tough, aggressive in practice, real determined wrestler, and coaches see a good future for
freshman,
John.
right?
Yep.
Okay. And for Edison, that's Tom Trust Terrario, excuse me, I murdered that name. Monterrero. Traz Monterrero, who is going, picked up a quick 2 for the takedown and was looking like he was going for a cradle there.
Well, we have a junior against a freshman here. A little bit of an experience advantage for Tras Montero. Off to a quick 2-0 lead. Looking to convert it into some more. So we're going to get a fresh start. Looks like we're going to go out of bounds here.
Now, it looked like to me that maybe that should have been called a little bit before
I
that.
was thinking that, but didn't want to say that.
Okay. No, I understand if you're assigning officials.
Well,
but I'm not under those restrictions.
you know the blue wall of
Yes, I do.
code. Well, we got the black and white wall.
The black and white wall. Now, it just looked to me that, and I was looking at it from a rule point of view, and for our fans out there watching this who may not be totally familiar with all of the.
Once each wrestler has a supporting part off the mat, it should be blown
Okay.
out. We should get a fresh start. If the one wrestler is in a pinning combination, he cannot even pick up back points on the line. He needs to pull them back in to get back points.
Right. Okay.
Old Bridge over the years has mastered wrestling on the edge.
Oh, I know.
When they get into trouble, they know right where they are. They have a great mat sense, and that's something they practice.
And I can remember being over there one night, and of course they did that. And the whistle, the horn should have went off for the clock, but they got a couple extra seconds or whatever, and it was a little bit of a row. We used to probably go over there and have 1,000 people.
Oh yeah,
in
those were
Madison
the days.
or
Wrestling's
Cedar Ridge.
changed a little bit since
Yes,
then.
it has. John Park is able to escape and pick up 1 with 11 seconds remaining in the first period. 2-1 in favor of Edison. Okay, that's the end of the period. East Brunswick has the choice. Looks to coach. He defers. Now, what if Edison says, I don't want to make a choice?
He's got it.
He has to. All right, you got to give him an option here. Okay, we got Park on top. Oh, not for long. Quick reversal. Now, as long as he holds the
still
leg,
in control.
there won't be any points. But if he lets go of the leg, then
Well, once he spins around, he'll get the reversal.
right.
So what Park has to do here is stay square with him. Try to maybe lock get 2 hands on that leg.
Yeah, I've never seen one hand be able to control that leg for any length of time anyway.
What Park needs to do here is sit through.
Okay. So what, describe sit through for our listeners.
Sit through means he needs to extend his feet forward and actually go to his butt and try to almost baseball slide through.
Like he just started to do there a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
And all to no avail now. That should be the 2 for Edison. He's got the cradle.
He's got to get it.
I guess it was already awarded.
Yeah, he
and I
awarded
missed
it
it.
too.
I
I
didn't see him
missed-
put his fingers up though.
I missed the 2 as well. Now what John needs to do is
He needs to kick that leg out, free that leg. It's called mule kicking. He needs to get off his knees. Now, it's
okay.
all,
Now he can come out the back door here, right?
It's very hard to wrestle on your knees. That's one of the biggest things coaches try to instill in the wrestler is staying off your knees, because it's such a natural reaction when you're out there wrestling to stay in the table position. But
Right.
you really need to be off your knees and.
Nothing much
and work
happening
up.
there, and
That was a good call by Doug Hess. He'll give the wrestler on top a few seconds with the leg ride,
right.
and then he'll get a fresh start. The reason you don't want to let the wrestler stay too long, because you really could take time off the clock there to staying in the leg. So the
Right.
official's not going to give you too long in that position.
All right, we have Edison 4, East Brunswick 1 here at 1:12, and John Park for East Brunswick. Oh, that nice crossface there. That feels good. And they look like they're back where they were before.
Well, again, Parks wants to get back to his base here.
That's the end of the second period. 4-1 in favor of Montero. I merited that one again.
It's okay.
Okay. We had the last 2 minutes in the third period, and Park is in a down position.
Oh, for a freshman, he's doing a nice job out here.
Yeah, it's not certainly lack of effort.
No.
He's working hard, and
Sometimes that 2 or 3 great advantage makes a big difference.
as you said, the Edison wrestler's a junior.
Although we just saw Corey Richings, a
freshman,
freshman,
beat
certainly
it.
wrestles like a senior.
Looks like they're knotted up here again. Although I don't. What can Edison wrestler do here?
Well, he's trying to hold on for the stalemate because it looks like Parks is about to pop out.
Out the back, right?
So all is now it's my turn. Tres Montero could do is try to hold on, and he did.
Now, if it looked like Park was going to get out of there, would the official let that happen?
He'll let it keep going.
Okay. Oh, he's going to.
Now, Edison really needs to score some points here.
Right.
Remember from the introductions, there was a forfeit coming, I believe, at 119 or 125 for Edison. So at 31-4, the score's a little misleading because it's probably 6 in the bank for the Bears.
Right, so that'd be 37-4.
right.
So
Edison
Edison needs
Montero
some.
certainly looking to score for
Well,
Edison.
Right, because the threes, if you just count up what's left, the three. Red stalling.
Now that's a good call. If you stay in that leg rod and you're not advancing anybody, any position, you're in jeopardy of stalling.
Okay,
But
and
the
we have
top man
38
needs to be the
seconds.
aggressor.
38 seconds remaining. And John Park trying to get out of there. I mean, certainly what he wants to do is not give up any more points, because a three-pointer, if we just took 3 for the rest of the way, the Bears wind up winning this one.
So Park's trying to do here is come out the back door.
Right.
And if he could pop his head out.
He's got his head out.
Okay, now he needs to come around and control the hips for his 2, and that's 2.
That's 2.
So Parks needs a quick takedown.
Now he's going after him aggressively, but you got to watch that clock is running. We're down to 3 seconds.
So it's going to be tough to do something with 2 seconds here.
2 seconds. There's not much you can do in 2 seconds.
Well, he certainly put out a nice effort.
He did.
Stayed aggressive, and he's going to be a strong point for the Bears down the road.
I know he's disappointed, but we watched him against Old Bridge, and he wrestled aggressively, and he went out here tonight and did the same thing against a junior for Edison.
Well,
And he has a lot to be proud
well,
of.
there's only good things to come for the Bears. If we look up and down that lineup, I only see one senior listed. That was Kevin Hendricks. Predominantly the team is comprised of sophomores and freshmen.
Okay, we're at 119. We have Jamie Guido for the Bears and Tyler Soley
And this is certainly the best wrestler for Edison.
for Edison. Okay. Scores 31 East Brunswick, 7 for Edison.
Well, Sully and Guido are both year-round competitors.
Now Guido, that's an East Brunswick wrestling name. George,
Sure.
George's father, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
George wrestled for the
George.
Bears, 189.
George is tough.
Had an outstanding senior year, heading into the district tournament. He broke his leg the day before in practice, and unfortunately that was the end of George's career. Sad way to go out, because George certainly was looking at placing in the States that year.
Yeah, no, and I remember George wrestling, and I remember the situation that you just described. And I know he's sitting up there, and it's kind of tough to sit there, I would think, when your son's out there.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody with no help. He's on his own out there, and he's done an excellent job for East Brunswick.
And it's good to have those parents around that help out, and George is certainly one of them. We saw him earlier selling the 50-50 tickets, doing what he can to help support the team, and I'm sure George is very involved with the Parents Club, and you need guys like that.
Absolutely.
It all makes the program work.
And Jamie's a junior, so he'll have another year with the Bears here, and I'm sure Coach Bazenko is looking for a continued improvement in his 119-pounder.
And Jamie's come a long way.
Yeah, we got 46 seconds remaining in the first period with no score at 119. Jamie Guido against Tyler Soley of Edison.
Both these guys seem to have good leverage, good reaction.
Good balance. Now what Jamie's trying to do is
well, he's sprawling.
So he can't do something
Sully
with that hand.
shot in, and Guido had the perfect counter. Guido now is trying to work into a front head, put some pressure on the neck, and try to spin around for the two. Two good wrestlers on the mat.
Right, we got 16 seconds left, and we need to. Jamie would certainly like to get up. Now we got stalemate. Back to the middle of the mat with 9 seconds remaining. All right, you're the coach. What do you tell Jamie?
Well, stay a little defensive here for a few
Okay.
seconds, and let's take it to the second.
As Stu indicated, stay a little defensive. Don't give up any points.
You don't want to get sloppy.
Right. So you could shoot there and
You can shoot, but you don't want to force anything.
be a little off balance and get yourself taken down.
I look for Sully to work cradles here. I've seen them before. So what Guido needs to do here is keep his head square and up. Can't drop his head. He needs to establish hand control right away.
Solly starts off in control. And what Jamie needs to do is to get up out of there. Or
Well, Sully likes to
reverse
work those cradles, as
Yeah.
we see him working into a Turk. And
Right.
Jamie needs to score here. He needs to make himself long and square up.
Can he do anything with that leg, or is just not enough leverage? No.
Well, he's trying to work into that Turk.
Right.
Jamie needs to crawl forward.
Crawling forward is going to do what for him?
Well, he's going to open up a little more space and give himself some room to get his legs out in front of him.
Okay.
And now he needs to establish hand control.
Now Solly grabs that ankle to keep control of. It's kind of hard to get up when somebody's got your by one of your ankles.
The key is that first move off the whistle.
All right. So he needs to explode out of here.
Right away.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
Almost anticipate the whistle.
Right. Second period, 1:12 remaining. Up. He was up quick, but Solly was able to grab a leg or an ankle.
No, Sully
actually.
needs to watch the stall call too. You can't stay on the legs. You need to work up towards the head.
Now what's the official? He's walking around this side. Jamie had his hands clasped. Is that you can do that?
You can lock the hands on the bottom. It's the top man that can't lock around the body or both legs.
Okay.
Unless it's a pinning combination. And again, I forewarned that call was coming. Sully was just hanging back on the legs. He wasn't making any effort to turn.
So that was a warning for stalling
Right,
for the Edison
right,
wrestler. Okay.
right. The earnest is on the top man to work for the fall and stay to the sides.
Okay.
Sully's pretty confident probably he can get out in the third period, so I think he'd be happy going into the next period.
Oh, he's got to roll through, doesn't he?
Almost catches Guido. Guido doing a nice job of kicking out of that.
Right.
He didn't hold him there for the 2 seconds. He only had a 1 count.
Right, no points awarded.
No points
on that.
awarded, but I think Sully's going to be happy, as I was saying, going into the third period, 0-0.
Right.
Thinking he can get out. He'll take bottom in the third. I'd almost bet on it. So what Guido really needs to do is try to get on the board with 20 seconds to go here in the second period.
Yeah, we're down to 12 now, 11 seconds. He needs to get one.
He needs to face him.
All right, now he's got 8 seconds to get out of here, and we're looking for a quick first move on the part of Jamie Guido.
Well, if Jamie could score here, it'll certainly make the third period a lot easier for him.
Okay.
So look for Jamie to explode right on the whistle.
Yep, and that's what he does. His
pop
legs
to his
are free.
feet.
No, just rolled through. Here goes the whistle.
Oh, Sully doing a nice job ride. It's very difficult to ride a wrestler for 2 minutes. And there's 2 veterans on the mat right now.
So we have no score here at 119.
Certainly different than that first bout of the night where we saw Matt Merrigan and Jack Reiner.
Well, I think that happens with Merrigan quite often.
Some wrestlers just wrestle that kind of style where
Right.
they really open up and the points fly on the board. And,
yeah, we've seen those over the years.
Got a much more controlling style here out of Guido. This is a key match for seeding. February 1st and 2nd is a GMC county tournament.
Right.
And, if Guido could steal a win here, certainly do wonders for his
He just got 2
his
there.
seed.
Solly got 2 on the takedown.
So Guido needs to get that back. He needs to crawl forward, extend his body a little. He needs to peel the half off and look away. He needs to look into that.
Now his legs are, looks like Solly has the advantage.
See, I don't know about that call there because Sully's staying parallel himself.
Okay. He's back to his.
So both wrestlers with a warning. Next stall call for either wrestler would be a point.
Would be a point awarded. And at 2-0 here with a minute remaining.
That's a full Nelson. That's illegal, but Doug Hess didn't pick that up. So Sully catches a break there. You can't bring both hands to the neck like we just saw.
Oh boy.
And actually it's leading the back points for Sully.
Is he's in a pinnable position there.
No, he's not in a good spot.
He's up a little.
What he needs to do is try to get his knees off the mat and make himself long. But he's pretty well caught.
28 seconds remaining. What Jamie Guido is trying to do is to fight through this. Official gets a foot in the face there.
Well, you're looking at one of the best wrestlers in the county here for Edison. And
Right.
he could go as high as the top seed.
And
in the
it's
upcoming
9 seconds
tournament.
remaining. If Jamie can stay off of his back, of course, it's team points that we're looking at here as well.
Right.
We're down to 2-1. No pin on this one. 3 for Sully. So I think.
Guido did a better job than the score indicates. Certainly wrestled a tough bat against Sully. Just got caught there at the end.
And only gave up 3 team points, which was extremely important.
You're just
for
being
the Bears.
aggressive out there. I mean, that's the thing. And you fought off that. I mean, there's some things we can do to change it, but I like the way you're aggressive out there.
So you look at Carmen Corona.
I think this is where the forfeit was. Yeah.
Well, they have a wrestle. Let's see what they do here.
Well,
that's Sean McSweeney. He did wrestle JV, and he's going to come out for the varsity match as well. As long as the wrestler has 45 minutes rest, he can
come
go,
out again.
He can come out again, and that's what Coach Bazinko is going to inquire about at the head table. As long as 45 minutes elapsed in time, Corona can wrestle. McSweeney. Okay, so Corona is awarded the forfeit, and it looks like that wasn't McSweeney. It must be Kevin Christie.
I think Christie.
Who went out a little early for 1:30.
And so we're at 37-10 in favor of the Bears.
Well, for a second, I thought Corona was going to get a bout.
We watched Carmen here against, did a nice job, worked hard against Ulbridge.
He's also got two younger brothers waiting in the wings for the Bears.
Here's
Michael
another
and Chris.
brother. Here's another brother combination here. We got Tim Ackerman at 130 against Kevin Christie of Edison. Ackerman and Tim is a sophomore with 3 varsity wins, and looking to pick up number 4 this evening against Edison. You know anything about Kevin Christie at all?
I don't, other than the fact he's a junior. We don't have his record listed here.
Okay.
But let's see what Tim could do with him. And as looks like Christie's going to score first on the takedown, duck under takedown. As we go out of bounds, we're going to get a fresh start.
Okay, you know, if you come out one about too early, obviously you're eager to get out there. So Kevin Christie with 2. With 1:20 remaining in the first period. East Brunswick on top 37-10. We're trying to work that arm here, huh?
Let's try to work a tilt.
Okay.
Not a lot Tim can do from down there. He's tied up pretty well. Now Christie's working into an arm lever.
What's the counter to that?
Well, you got to, again, try to get your hips out.
Okay.
That's the key to a lot of these wrestling moves is hips out, high leg over, and high leg unders. We haven't seen a lot of high leg overs or high leg unders, but from bottom, those are your basic positions to go to.
Right. Official just ruled that Tim got out and got to the neutral position, so it's 2-1 with 35 seconds remaining. That's Tim Ackerman on a leg here trying to get a takedown before this period ends.
That's a question a wrestler always has to ask himself on bottom when I'm down there. Can I high leg out? Can I high leg under?
Okay.
Can I step over? Can I step under?
So that's the thought process that they're
That's what should be going through their mind.
Right, okay. Yeah, sometimes it's can I survive out here for another 30 seconds.
Well, sometimes that's part of your mission too. Everybody has a role to play.
Now he wants to step those hips over. Can Tim?
If he could step over there, that would be good. Or if he could suck that leg in and cut the corner.
Okay.
Again, we're looking at a stalemate situation as the period winds down.
That's the end of the first period with Kevin Christie of Edison with 2, Tim Ackerman with 1.
All wrestlers have their favorite position, whether it be top, bottom,
right,
riding. A lot of guys that like those cradles will like to ride.
Remember a wrestler we had by the name of Speldos?
Nah, before my time, I think.
Yeah, it was. It was about 70 or something. Boy, he and they outlawed this move. It was something with the arm, what made me think of it before was that Christie had Ackerman's arm pretty high up on his back, and the rules have been changed or were changed, I think, a few years ago to protect that wrestler a little more with the bending. The arms aren't supposed to go in that
direction. The arm can't go above the shoulder. It needs to stay flat on the back.
Okay, above the shoulder, flat on the back.
It can't go above the shoulder.
Okay.
Okay, now what Ackerman needed to do there was peel that half off. As soon as that half comes in, he needs to reach up for it and just rip it off.
Okay.
Now Ackerman needs to get his hips out here.
He's back up to look like a neutral
position. Push away
position,
and face
right?
him for his 1, yeah.
1 right there. I may be refereeing next week here.
Okay,
okay.
We can use you.
All right. Maybe it'll start me at the freshman or 8th grade level, maybe.
Yeah, you opened up the door for me to tell you the wrestling officials take a lot of abuse out there. It's not the easiest job in the world. You have to be able to let things roll off your back, and you get into a big match, you can't get caught up in the crowd. As
Ackerman got caught there.
Ackerman goes to an carries position, he gets pancaked to his back. Ackerman needs to get tight and try to hip through. He needs to get tight to Christie. He needs to try to get hip to hip and roll through.
And so Christie got 2 for the takedown, and now whatever
now he's
back
picking
points.
up some back points. Ackerman doing
3.
a nice job of reversing.
3 back points and a 2.
Fought his way through. Yeah.
We're at 7-4 here with 35 seconds with the action hot and furious out there.
Well, we saw the referee stop the match. Ackerman's headgear came off.
Did they normally do that, sir?
Oh, they usually wait till there's no action before they'll do that. I was surprised that they did that in the middle of a half Nelson like that. But the referee probably figured it wasn't going anywhere, so he was thinking safety first. The headgear is to protect the ears from cauliflower.
Right. And that's the position that Tim Ackerman is in at the present time. Pretty hard to turn him there. Now he's got his weight on the other side.
Well, you can always pick out a
What do you
guy
throw
that's
a half from
put a
there?
lot of mat time in by the cauliflower here.
Yeah.
Ackerman's trying to work a half, far ankle half.
Okay.
We're going to get a look at his brother the next bout.
Right.
Brian.
That's the end of the second period with Christie 7 and Tim Ackerman at 4.
Well, Ackerman's still in this bout. You know, he's going to be on top. I'm assuming Edison's going to choose bottom. And
so it's Edison's choice. He wants to be on the bottom.
Right.
Because obviously then he thinks he can get out of there.
Well, he feels he's not going to give up any points there.
Okay,
And he feels he can get out.
That's the other
Right.
part of the rationale. Okay. I guess up there's both hands on the mat.
Good position to be defensive from. You know, as long as you don't lay there, you're not likely to give up a lot of points.
Okay, Tim Ackerman is going to do what here?
Well, he's going to try to work into the Navy ride to counter the switch by Christie. Ackerman doing a nice job trying to work the half.
Right. Looked like he was going to lose his balance
Now
there.
they're out of bounds again there, yeah.
Yep.
Referee, you know, he's consistently been giving him a lot of room around the mat. So he is staying consistent there.
Yeah, this Resolite is a big one, and there's obviously the concern for safety and out of bounds.
Well, when I'm officiating, I try to blow it a little bit earlier. You can only get yourself in trouble officiating on the boundary. So I try to be a little bit faster than maybe most officials and bring it back to the middle a little bit sooner. Why stay in a spot where I'm going to end up in trouble?
Right.
That's all that can happen on the line there. So
Okay,
getting it back to the middle is good advice.
We're just about at the 1 minute mark here with the third period. 130 pounds.
You know, and Ackerman really needs to work a pinning combination. He needs to get
his leg out of there first. Huh?
Needs to pick up some points here.
Well, he definitely doesn't want to give up.
He needs the high leg over here.
Okay. Keep coming. Well, Christie's got his leg here, which is preventing him from.
Well, Christie, what he's doing is doing really a nice job of stalling here.
Yeah, that's what he's got both legs there, and he's just in that turtle position. Green is up, stalemate, nothing happening. 21 seconds remaining in the third period. The Edison wrestler Christie's up by 3, 7-4.
It really seems like, looking over at the Edison bench, that the Bears are really taking a bite out of them. They really look a little subdued over there. Well,
what was that call, Stu?
Well, the referee felt Ackerman was parallel, and he warned him for stalling.
Okay. So if he is hit again, we 8 seconds, but I don't think we're going to see any stalling here.
I'm not so sure he wants to be stalling right now.
He wants to get some points, and it's not going to happen. The final score of Christie 7, Tim Ackerman 4. That'll be 3 team points for the Eagles, bringing the score 37-13. With I have 3 matches left: 35, 40, and 45.
Right.
That's 18.
Right. So each
I think maybe that's why you saw Edison sitting over there, like, well, maybe
like it's over.
Not going to happen again. We'll be 4 and 5.
Well, this is a red division match, so it's
Now this is going to
big win for
this
the
should
Bears.
be. Don't you think this? I think this one here. I've been looking forward to this one. Mike Weiss against Brian Ackerman.
Well, Ackerman's off to an 8-1 start,
right?
And Weiss is certainly one of the better wrestlers on the Edison lineup.
So this ought to be action-packed and some good wrestling.
Better wrestlers seem to wrestle the lower score, more defensive matches, less sloppiness going on. They seem to react right to each other's moves, more counters.
Right.
So I wouldn't expect to see a high scoring bout here, but more of a controlled bout.
Okay, we have Brian Ackerman at 135 pounds. He's a junior, one of the co-captains of this year's East Brunswick team. And as Stu has indicated, 2 very good wrestlers here, and we should see some good action, but controlled action because they can counter each other so effectively. The Edison wrestlers got some big arms on them there.
Well, they're in a head-to-head tie here.
Right. Oh.
And Ackerman's, shucks it off, which that's what that was called, and he tries to shoot in for the leg, and Weiss trying to counter with a far ankle and a crossface. And Ackerman doing a nice job with his hips.
He's holding on, right? He's got that leg and his
Now,
hips.
what Ackerman needs to do again here is get off his knees,
Right.
and reach up for a half, and he'll find himself in a good position.
He's off his knees for a second
Now,
there.
he needs to get off both of them.
Does that?
It really creates a leverage advantage.
Okay, right. Okay. You see a lot of wrestlers down on those knees, and as you've indicated tonight, nothing too good happens in that position.
There you
All
go.
right, now he's in good shape.
Go back to those feet there.
Okay.
Reach for the head, shoot the half, and there you go.
There he is.
Right to his back. So he's going to pick up 2 and 2.
2 for the takedown, 2 back
Doug Hess
points.
doing a nice job officiating tonight.
Right, he is. That's 4 points through and out of bounds with 1 second remaining in the first period. Brian Ackerman up 4-0 over Mike Weiss of Edison. I don't think Weiss is very happy at this point, but we'll try to keep him happy and get him on his back in the next period. Okay, that's the end of the first period. Red has the Edison has the choice.
Well, East Brunswick deferred his choice, so he'll have choice in the third period.
Okay.
And Weiss elects bottom. What that new rule has done is, from an official's point of view, it's really thrown you out of whack because the odd and even bouts change with every dual meet, depending on what weight class we start at. So the official used to be able to rattle off all the odd and even bouts and know right away who has choice. You're forced to communicate with the head table a little bit more, and it's different every night.
Well, we want to keep those wrestling officials a little bit flexible and keep them on their toes.
And earning their paychecks.
That's right. Well, Brian trying to turn Weiss over, but was unsuccessful in that move. Looks like nothing much going to happen out of bounds there.
To someone's out there officiating, you don't realize how hard it is. It's so easy to officiate a match from the bleachers, but to get out there and do it.
Well, I've officiated some basketball games, and it looks, I'm one of those people that sit in the stands and or wherever I sit, and I usually holler at the television at night. And my wife says, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, I'm officiating here, or correcting that official's bad call there."
What looks so easy, it just isn't.
Yeah, no, we can appreciate that. What Brian needs to do here is turn him over.
Well, he's working a ball and chain.
But
and,
nothing.
Got the 1 count.
You need to get 2.
Well, Brian's doing a nice job. Now he's got his knee into it. Put a little more pressure.
He's got to get a little more leverage.
He's got to break 90. He breaks the plane, so he's picking up back points now.
He's got 2 back points in the. 2 points for Brian. That'll make it. Did I miss something? I thought it would be 6, but.
Yeah, it should be 6. I think the scoreboard's off. There we go.
All right. My little pad here, I had 6 points. I thought I was right. That does happen on a few occasions.
Yeah.
Not very often. All right. 33 seconds remaining in the second period, and Weiss hasn't done much. I'm stalling. Oh, there we go.
Now you're calling him.
On cue. Well, I'm sitting next to an expert.
Yeah, it's rubbing off now.
Some of it's got to rub off.
There you go.
Well, we spent a few years here trying to.
Oh, there it is. Oh.
Just rolled through it.
Looked like he had him there.
What was that called?
He had him stacked.
Stacked. He stacked them. That was the Stu Kohn move. We've seen a few stacks when you were wrestling.
I'm at the pasture now. My stack days are over.
Oh, the stack days
now it's a stack of pancakes.
All right, Green. what was that all about? He was trying to decide if it should be up or down or whatever, and coach.
Yeah, you'll see the
says-
coaches making those decisions for you. They'll tell you where you want to be, top, bottom, neutral.
Wise move.
Well, he's got enough to think about up there, and it is a wise move because
Okay.
he can pick up 2-point reversal. He's in the major range.
That was a caution against Mike Weiss of Edison, who moved before the whistle to try to get an advantage.
Right, he jumped the whistle. If a wrestler does that 3 times, his opponent would get a point. Or if
Okay.
the wrestler assumed an incorrect starting position as
Brian
Ackerman
is
gets a
able to
reversal.
get the reversal here in the third period to go up 8-0.
Now next week, these coaches are all going to get together and they're going to sort out these records. And
All right, again a stalling on the part of Edison, Mike Weiss, and 1 point awarded to
right. So they're going to,
East Brunswick.
as I was saying, these coaches are going to get together and they're going to compare common opponents and scores.
right.
And that's all going to play part in the seeding for the GMC tournament coming up.
Right, with 1:19 remaining, it's 9-0 in favor of Brian Ackerman.
Right, so this match will do a great deal for Ackerman come the seeding meeting. He's beating a quality opponent. He's got him 9-0 in the third period and working on more.
I always used to be amazed going to some of those seating meetings to hear. I mean, they had every wrestling coach knew every time somebody was every time somebody sneezed. I think they
Yeah.
were fully aware of it and
Got it marked out.
And if it was to their advantage, they'd bring it up at a seating meeting.
Yeah.
And that's, as you know, you used to be there with them,
Yeah.
arguing into the night as to who. I shouldn't. I don't want to be 8 or 9. I want to get away from that number 1. And they had it all figured out ahead of time.
There's another point for Ackerman.
Another point, a stalling point on.
I got to say, I was home watching the Old Bridge match on TV, and I knew you knew wrestling, Charlie, but I didn't realize how much. And I listened to your commentating, and I was pleasantly impressed.
Well, thank you. You know, over the years, watching you coach, and of course Greg DeMarco and Paul Quirk, Jay Doyle was first wrestling coach, and I'm probably missing Carl Faith and a
Yeah.
few other people.
You
But
were just keeping it a secret from me.
you know, hey, you got to learn something if you
Now-
see enough wrestling matches. And I used to enjoy going to South River and Old Bridge and some of those places. J.P. Stevens, I remember J.P. Stevens being here with many nights with a full house.
And we just saw another stalling call
Right.
against Weiss. So one more time, and Weiss would be disqualified. So
We're
Weiss,
at 12-0 now with 14 seconds
so
remaining.
Weiss really needs to get busy for the last 13 seconds, or you're going to see him get disqualified.
With all of that muscle up top, he hasn't done anything with it. 1 second, that's it. It's 12, so that's
Big
4
win.
points, right, for major decision?
Yeah, nice win for Ackerman. And
Nice win.
Weiss was really saved by the bell. Another 15, 20 seconds, and I think he would have got stalled out.
Right.
This is like,
Well, he got stalling points, two stalling points awarded in that match?
The
3.
first one, he got a warning, then a 1-point violation, a 1-point violation,
All right.
then a 2-point violation.
And a 2 point. So there's 4 points all on stalling. And that's,
So
boy,
the-
I tell you what, I'm going to clap my hands here because I applaud officials who do that.
The Bears are really
Thank you.
coming alive here, flexing their muscles with a 41-13 team point advantage.
And we didn't have Mike Weiss. We had the wrong Edison wrestler, I think. Rennell.
At 135, we have Brian Ackerman's not on the mat for the
No,
Bears.
this is, we just finished 135, but Edison, the last match, we kept saying Mike Weiss, and that was incorrect. Edison sent out another wrestler.
I guess the match is out of reach. So
Yeah, and I guess he pulled him, and we didn't realize that, and we apologize. But Brian Ackerman with a major decision, bringing the score. East Brunswick 41, Edison 13. Patty Bean for the Bears, and Mike Grogan at 140 for Edison. And of course, Patty Bean is in control with a takedown and 2 points. Potentially dangerous move. That's where that arm and elbow, the shoulder was.
took it out of joint a little bit there.
Yeah, it's going to dislocate that if you let that go.
Now going into the districts, a wrestler can only have a total of 25 bouts. So
Right, I
sometimes you
remember
will
that.
see coaches sit a wrestler when a match is out of contention to save on the bouts.
All right, so maybe that's
It
what.
looks like if we get a look at Bean, he's indicating he maybe was bit.
Um,
Yeah, right on the hand. Looked like right on the hand there.
So
didn't
we're
it?
gonna see if we can pan in on that.
Now that's a disqual. Is he? If he
Well,
did,
the
what do
referee,
they
you
do
know,
normally
he's
in
got
that?
to first he's got to see it, and then he's got to determine whether it was an accident or intentional. And unless
Right.
you know we can really prove it to be intentional, it's a tough call to make.
Look for that half and keep trying to turn. But
Well,
you need
and
to get him to
it could be
turn
that
on.
he didn't actually bite him, and just when he brought his arm around for a cross face, he might have.
Get caught up in there,
Yeah, I guess that could happen.
So Bean working the half.
I don't think I'd be too happy to get somebody to take a chunk out of me. But,
Yeah, he's got a leg pry
okay.
and the half, and
What, the move by the official with the hand behind the head potentially
dangerous, right?
Okay. See, I even remember
Yeah.
that. Potentially dangerous. Okay. Patty
No.
Bean.
Doing a nice job of riding here.
What he really wants to do is
gotta-
close that back.
He's got a boot in, and as you alluded to earlier, that was a favorite move of Coach Bazinko, working those legs.
Oh, that's what he right.
Yeah.
Now I see that. He'd work you those legs
yeah,
and then
that crab ride.
and then push that head
power
down
half,
into that into that mat where it hurt.
Well, Glenn, you know, has great leverage for a wrestler, and he always managed to use that to his advantage.
Right. But he was so strong that he'd take that head and push it down to your chest. Okay, we're back.
And I'll throw another name at you. Glenn used to have those bouts with Brochard from Sayreville.
Oh,
I'm sure
right.
that's bringing back memories.
Mike Bouchard,
Dan.
who was also a linebacker for Sayreville, was an excellent athlete, tough guy, as I remember, and I
Glenn
believe
had his number,
that
yeah.
I sure did, and that got Bouchard was such a competitor he couldn't stand to lose to Pazenko,
Yeah.
which he did whenever they faced each other.
Yeah, we saw some bouts between them two in this gym.
Absolutely.
And
Okay.
Bean,
no point.
saved by the buzzer.
He was losing his balance, was about to be turned over. Red's got the choice. Defers. Green elects to go down. Patty Bean will be on the bottom.
And the
with
Bears,
Mike Grogan on top, 2-0. Patty Bean with East Brunswick has this out of reach. One more match to go. 41-13. They're going to pick up a victory tonight, which is a nice feeling.
Oh, the schedule the Bears wrestled earlier in the year.
But that
really
makes them
sets
better
you up.
wrestlers.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
I always believed in they wrestle the best and
Be the best.
be the best. If you're not that good, you got to work harder. That's all.
What Bean needs to do here is sprawl his leg out.
Right.
Needs to work that cross face, put some pressure on it. Maybe working to a 3/4. Hook under the arm. Put some pressure on the head and try to spin behind.
Again, those clasps, but you can do that. Okay. I think he's got control, right? Should be 2 for it. No.
Well, Bean was trying to get the reversal.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Right. Yep. But he's still. Oh.
Needs to kick out of that.
That's a lot easier said than done.
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah. It's so much easier for me to say that from up here.
All right. Well, he's got back points. He's got 3 back points, and now the secret for Patty Bean is to
roll through.
Roll through. He rolled about halfway, and there he goes.
Yeah.
He got back out of there.
Now he needs to reach up, peel that half off, and look the other direction.
Right. .38 seconds remaining. It's 3-2 in favor of Mike Grogan for the Eagles. Patty Bean is trying to get up off his feet, up to his feet rather, and maybe off his feet as well.
He's in a tough spot now.
Yeah, he just stayed still too long here.
He's caught in the cradle. He needs to belly down and make himself long.
3 more back points at least if he doesn't get himself pinned.
Well, if he can
But
keep
he's
turning,
high.
if he can keep
He's got to
turning,
keep coming. He's got
he's
leverage with his
2
foot.
seconds to work with.
Oh, look at that.
Just ran out of time.
Okay, that's 3 more back points, so it's 6-2.
Sometimes the buzzer works for you. Right there, we just saw it work against him.
Yeah, another second or two. It looked like he
He's going to turn the table, yeah.
turned the table and have Mike Grogan in some trouble down there, but the clock, the horn blew, and it's like that last 3-second three-pointer, and it just wasn't there. 1:55 remaining, and in this, the 140-pound weight class, Patty Bean for East Brunswick, and Mike Grogan up 6-2 from Edison. He's trying to go out the back there. I don't know. They've cut down on that crossface too, haven't they, to some extent?
Well, we haven't seen it a lot tonight. You know, you'll see some teams
do a lot of that.
Use it more than others. When the East Brunswick takes on South River on Valentine's Day, South River's known for throwing those cross faces. I'm sure you'll see them that night. And
and what is that? I mean, it has no.
Oh, it's a setup for some other combinations.
Right.
You can use it, you know, in your cradle series. Use it a lot on your feet when you're face to face with your opponent and you want to sprawl, get behind them.
And it just hurts, doesn't it?
Well, the rule really is to apply it and then put the pressure on it.
Not
if
to
it's
bring
done
it.
all in one motion, sometimes you'll see a technical violation. Some officials are faster than others about calling it.
Right.
But you know, the intent is not to hurt the wrestler, but sometimes an overzealous wrestler will get a little carried away with it.
Yeah, I remember we had a couple of big guys here. The name were DeBoer.
Oh yeah.
Remember Craig DeBoer?
Well, his son actually just graduated and was a wrestler from Monroe.
Yeah, I used to see that name in the paper. Yeah. Boy, he was a tough guy too. And quick. I remember him. He was one of the first boys, males, to take dance. And of course, he went in there, and he was as big as anybody in the school, and nobody was going to ridicule him for taking dance. And he was very light on his feet for his size, and it showed on the mat because not too many guys were able to handle him. Okay, we're up to 8-2 in favor of Grogan with 5 seconds remaining. That's the way it's going to end. Mike Grogan of Edison, 8. Patty Bean, 2.
So it's been a while since we've seen the Eagles put some points on the board.
Yeah, they've stayed at 13 there for a couple of matches, and it's 41-16, and we have one match left to go. It's going to be at 1:45, and I guess that's Joel Harrison who just comes to the table for Edison. And for East Brunswick, it should be Nick Marone. Marone, he just whispered out.
So we got sophomore Nick Marone.
Sophomore Nick Marone against
freshman Joel Harrison.
Freshman Joel Harrison for our last bout of the evening. Pretty big boys. Trying to get control. Marone has one varsity victory this year, looking to pick up his second here against freshman Joel Harrison of Edison. In our last bout of the evening.
A lot of parity in the conference this year, especially in the red division. It seems like everybody's swapping victories. Woodbridge, East Brunswick, J.P. Stevens, you know, all about similar
I guess the
programs.
with the exception of
matchups.
Old Bridge, who is very good, I think, and certainly the match I saw, they looked very good. South Plainfield, although they're a Group 2 school, wrestles in the red division.
Well, they're actually a Group 3 now. Sometimes, depending on the enrollment that year, they'll jump down to 2.
Right.
But
you know,
even they're showing their human side this year, and they have a couple losses. You know,
I know. I'm laughing because I saw that score in the paper, and I mentioned to you before the match, in which South Plainfield was beaten 50-3 or something like that.
It's hard for us to conceive in Middlesex County.
By one of those little schools there from up in
Kittatinny,
Kittatinny up there. Boy, they must have some team.
Wrestling country.
I'd like to see that match.
But South Brunswick and Old Bridge both beating South Plainfield this year.
Right.
So,
well,
you know,
South Brunswick's very competitive, that's for sure.
Yeah, Joe Doherty's done a nice job over
Yes, he
there.
has.
Former Old Bridge wrestler.
And he was here.
Yeah,
Joe was here,
yeah,
worked
that's right.
with us for a while, and when Greg DeMarco was the head coach at East Brunswick.
But, you know, outside of that big three, South Plainfield, Old Bridge, and South Brunswick, much more of a
Everything's
parity.
pretty much parity after that, right?
You know, the matchups have a lot to do with it this year.
Well, through the first period, no points awarded to
Well, we've seen that a couple times
Nick
tonight.
Maroney. Yeah, we have.
You know,
Yeah,
since that
and
Merrigan bout.
Well, I mean, that was a good one to start with.
Sure.
We scored enough points for 3 bouts.
Yeah.
There. A little bit of a caution by the referee to the Edison wrestler. And
Marone doing a nice job exploding to his feet.
And he put some points on the board.
That was a textbook stand-up.
Yeah. Many hours were spent coaching that. I keep looking for Coach Toto out there to pick an ankle. Well, he could pick that
He's
ankle.
a lawyer now in New Brunswick.
Yeah, he's still picking. He's still picking
Yeah, he
ankles.
moved on to picking wallets now.
Yeah. Oh, we had to be careful about that. I was picking ankles. It's fine.
Coach is always a good person to joke with, and
Yes, no, outstanding. And the other thing he could do, and I know he still does it because every once in a while I see him, he can hit a golf ball about as far as anybody I've ever seen. But that's, and I guess you have to do that if you're an attorney.
You know, and you know, we talk about Coach Toto. You know, he passed it on to his brother Walter. Walter had that same same move.
Yeah. Well, that was we're talking about Antonio.
Yeah, but it's family secret. Both the Totos seem to have that master ankle pick.
Well, I think Tony probably started teaching them that when they were about 2 years old or something, because they certainly mastered that skill.
Yeah.
We have our clock operator that I'd just like to acknowledge here, if I could, who's been a longtime teacher at East Brunswick High School, chemistry teacher, who I know recently put in his papers and is going to retire. Mr. Paul Sachs.
Sure.
Been a great wrestling fan over the years and has done an outstanding job on the clock. And we always make sure that the opponents get a fair shake in how that clock is off and on.
Well, it means a lot to an official to have a nice working table, and makes the official's job a lot easier.
Okay, we have 20 seconds remaining in this bout with Nick Marone, up 1-0 over Joel Harrison of the Eagles. They seem to be working hard, but not many points being scored out there.
Well, we're going to see what Marone can do riding in the third period. I'm sure Harrison's going to take bottom, and it's a little too late.
No points. Well, the official's smiling because the table, I think there was a moan or so over this way. It was close, but clearly there was.
Right call was made.
Okay. And you have that from an expert?
Well,
no, I say that. I say that in all due respect. And but that's what makes a horse race, as they say. You know, everybody has a different opinion of who's going to.
So let's see what Marone can do on top. He did a nice job, the textbook stand-up in the second period. Let's see how he can ride. He's got holding on to a slim 1-0 lead.
But he really needs to turn him out. Put that back to the mat. There he goes.
You know, what he needs to do is either turn him or cut him loose and try to work another takedown.
All right.
So he doesn't wear himself out riding the third period. What would happen if this ended 1-1? We would go into a 1-minute overtime.
Right. No, he doesn't. There's
East Brunswick's warned for stalling.
So
if I was
if you were Coach
Marone,
or Marone,
I'd cut him loose.
You'd cut him loose,
Yeah.
and then try to take him down.
Right. I don't want to risk getting caught again for stalling, and
that's what he's going to do.
He's not turning them, so let's make the takedown count here.
Okay, we're at 1-1 here with 1:16 remaining in the final bout of the evening at 1:45, where Nick Marone is trying his best to take down Joel Harrison of the Eagles.
Well, Marone needs to keep his hips up. He needs inside control.
Now, what's the obligation of the Edison wrestler, Harrison, just backing off the mat?
Well, Harrison can either circle or shoot.
I know he can circle.
He can't back up.
But it seemed to me he backed up in that sequence.
Well, the referee he'll watch it.
Watch
you know,
it,
the
warn
first
him.
one he might kind of slip by, and then if it happens again, you
Right.
can surely look for
No,
that call.
I'm not saying he should have awarded a point
No.
there, but just that's what he's looking at. Now, he warned,
Yeah, good call by you, because he did get warned for stalling. And
because he backed off of that one when Marone went after him, he just kind of waltzed back out of the picture. And now he's off the mat. We're in the neutral position. Coach Pazinko instructing Marone, shoot, take him down. Looks like Harrison might have gotten a little bump on the
they
nose
lost the
there.
contact.
Lost the contact.
Now, if
Coach comes out
if
and
the contact comes out and you want to pass it off to the coach, that's okay. If you want to put it back in the eye with the saline, that would be injury time.
Okay. And how much injury time in about?
A total of 90 seconds.
90 seconds.
And on your second injury time, your opponent would have choice of position when you go back to the middle.
Okay. A lot of hand fighting there. The official brings him back to the.
Well, Marone's got 26 seconds to get a takedown, and we're going to go in overtime for the first time tonight.
Right.
Marone needs to put pressure on the head.
Right, which he's doing.
And if he can spin around here and get that leg out.
Takedown. No.
Now he's got to lock in the crotch to avoid giving up two on his own. He needs to get his hips out. Now, if Marone can lift that and get his hips out, he would be on top.
But he really doesn't have any leverage here, does he?
Well, if he can get his hips out, he could steal a takedown there. And he's awarded two on the end.
He got to two.
He got the two. Let's see if Coach Nisavashi wants to question that call.
He's
He's going to let it slide by. I'm surprised we didn't see an argument there. But
I have not seen
a quieter coach, huh?
Well, no, I mean, I remember when he wrestled at Edison or
Yeah.
J.P. Stevens, right? One of those. And he was a fiery gentleman when he was wrestling, and certainly when he started coaching over there, he was the same way. I mean, he might have been at Woodbridge at one point.
Well, he's got the trademark white sneakers. I don't know
Yeah,
if
he's
we're
got
going to
the
look
white
at that, but
sneakers.
when you see Jerry Nisavashi, you know he's going to have on them white sneakers.
And just to give Nick Marone his due here, he fought all the
Yes,
way
he
and
did,
was
yeah.
able to pull it out in the last seconds, and that's the reason to be in shape and to be ready to wrestle for 6 solid minutes, which Nick Marone did, and pull out the victory to bring the final score, East Brunswick 44, Edison 16. How would you assess the evening, Stu?
Well, I think it was a big win for the Bears. Got back in a red division matchup and really flexed their muscles. I think both teams came in here expecting a close match, and I don't think anybody expected a 44-16 victory. I think starting at 152 put the Bears in a good position. They started off strong, and the momentum just seemed to carry through.
All right, and for the Bears, they have coming up, well, certainly the GMC tournament, which you had mentioned is the first week in February.
I believe they're at Perth Amboy Saturday.
They're at Amboy first for a dual meet, and Amboy's been extremely competitive the last few years.
Well, they've come on strong. They get some tough kids out for the team, and they
Yeah,
have
and
a nice program.
Right. And then right after that's the districts, and then it becomes regionals and on to the states, which this year in Atlantic City.
They are honoring the last year of the contract in Atlantic City, the old convention center, which is now the new convention center.
Right.
And
okay.
then after that, we'll see where the NJSI takes the tournament.
Well, it'd be nice to go back to Princeton. I just have that great sense when I went down there to see those outstanding wrestling in a nice facility. Not that the convention center isn't appropriate. It is. It's also a great class facility.
This year, for the first time, all the sectional tournaments we hold at the Sovereign Center, the East Center in Trenton.
Right. That's another great facility.
That will be February 16th.
Okay.
So if you want to see some great wrestling, head down to the Sovereign Center.
The Sovereign Center on the 16th of February. And
see all the group championships.
Okay. And we're going to wrap it up here from East Brunswick High School. And I want to thank Stu Kohn for all of his expertise in keeping me out of too much trouble this evening.
and we
Well-
look forward to seeing you down the road.
That was my pleasure. Thank you for
Okay.
having me.
Okay, thank you.